Okay, very good. All right, defendants are all present, defense counsel's present. Ms. Doherty, were you able to talk to Mr. Gonzalez about whether any of the disputed exhibits you intend to introduce at this time?
Judge, we were, and I believe the only disputed item was going to be the victim's Instagram records.
Okay, can I see them?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Judge, and I think Ms. Ismer was gonna argue this. And she stepped out for 1 second.
I can give the court.
Can I look at the
Yes.
exhibit?
Judge, there is a video of the victim's Instagram account along with, and they were certified from Instagram. Then there were also some postings from Instagram.
Okay, and this, for the record, is State's Proffered Exhibit 95, 95A is the video, 95B, 1 through 12 are the, I guess, screenshots of the, okay? So,
Yep.
I think it's A through D, Judge, so there's additional ones besides just the A.
okay, it's only marked as, the video is marked as 95A, and then there's 95B, 1 through 12, and then I don't know what these are, 95C, 1 through 8, and 95D, 95E. So that's what I've got in front of me, 95E, 95C, 1 through 8, 95B, 1 through 12, and 95A. So what exactly amongst these are you objecting to?
Judge, can I look at B? And can I look at,
Anything in B?
no,
you're
Judge.
Objecting to, okay?
And let me look at, is that C,
It is.
please?
I'm gonna give this back to you since
That's fine.
So, Judge, my argument would be as to 95C5, C6, and I believe these are still shots of the
see.
recording.
Okay, so 95, C5, and C6 are what you are objecting to, right?
Yes, Judge, and although the state might have modified the exhibit, at one point in time, there was also this picture, which is a larger shot of the profile picture.
Well, I don't see that in there, in this exhibit.
And quite frankly, Judge, to be honest, it wasn't this big, it was about half this big. So
Okay.
if it's the state's intention not to try to introduce this picture, then that would be,
That's not relevant to
Eliminate.
anything.
Eliminate.
Looks like that is profile photo or something?
That's correct, Judge.
Is this Instagram that I'm looking at? What is
Yes,
this?
Your Honor.
yes.
Okay, so state on 95C5, what is the relevance of this?
C5, Judge, those are, Judge, if I can have Ms. Ismer, and she's the one that.
Where is she? Tell her to get in here.
Sorry, I just didn't know what was
I
taken
know,
out.
I know. Not your fault, you kinda got.
Okay, Ms. Ismer, the defense is objecting, or Mr. Gonzalez is objecting to 95C5 and 95C6 being introduced into evidence through Detective Ramos. So tell me, what is the relevance? I've got the exhibit.
You do?
Yeah.
May I see it, Your Honor?
Yep. Just come up here and take a look.
Okay.
What is the relevance of C5, and then tell me the relevance of C6.
These are screen captures of the screen recording that Detective Ramos took. These actually encapsulate what the victim's profile was on the date of his homicide.
Okay.
And the specific relevance of 95C5, which is the still of the Instagram page, meaning if you went to the person's page, you could see all of their posts, are that there's a profile picture associated with the victim's account.
that profile picture is actually located on Defendant Murphy's account. I believe the 17th, but I'd have to go look at my
That's fine.
exhibit list.
And so that shows Charles Jones's whereabouts on the day of the, no.
It shows his social media account, so his profile picture, like the photograph that would be used to identify his account.
Okay.
And the overall, like the name, his nicknames, the account itself that was accessed by,
Okay. And then the photos on the bottom, what are those?
These are his account, these are posts that he had, so they show up as little squares instead of in a line like you would see on maybe Facebook or something. Each post shows up. These are some kind of like promotional, I guess, maybe posts that he had for a cell phone company or something. I'm not really sure, but this is what his account was. This is the appearance of his account to include our teaser's flyer on the date of his homicide.
Okay, what's the objection?
Judge, first of all, I think it's both a 401 and a 403 argument. Number one is, I have no objection to the profile of Foolio. I would object to the profile picture of what appears to be maybe his parents or his grandparents, and the suggestion it may give the jury. It's not necessary. It's not necessary in order for them or the state to introduce what his Instagram account was at the time that the screenshot or the screen recording was taken.
It isn't, did Miss Ismer just tell me that this information was it Davion Murphy's? Rashad Murphy's phone device.
And I'm gonna get the date for Your Honor as well.
And that's part of an exhibit.
Correct, on 6/8 of 2024, the significance of that being 6/8 is the same date that the other, fight with the co-defendant and Mr. Charles Jones occur, and about 6 minutes later, the defendant Rashad Murphy is communicating with Charles Jones's account and with Isaiah Chance's account. The communication with Foolio's account is that he is accessing that social media page.
Meaning Rashad Murphy.
Yes, and Isaiah Chance is engaged in a fight with Charles Jones on that same evening. Then within the hour of that fight, Rashad Murphy and Sean Gathright are text messaging about how Bruff needs to get off of IG. They have bigger plans. So
Okay.
certainly all goes to, given the charge time of the conspiracy, several parts of the state's case. Most specifically, though, for this particular exhibit that Mr. Gonzalez is referencing here, 95C, I believe he indicated.
C5, C6.
Is that profile picture. I don't actually know who those individuals are, but certainly it's an identifiable image that's depicted on his client's device.
Okay.
Judge, the same image, the same profile of Foolio's Instagram account can be admitted without the picture of the grandparents or the parents. I think it's both a relevance and a 403 outweighing prejudicial effect, because it's not necessary to show that someone was accessing someone else's Instagram account. It's not necessary. Foolio is there. Pictures of Foolio are there. There's going to be no misconception by the jury as to whose account this is. I think we run into a different circumstance when we start bolstering, or when we start asking or potentially allowing the jury to derive some type of thought as to who Foolio is. If you look at the bottom three pictures in the profile, and they are the same pictures as the next page on the top, those are simply him interacting with fans, promotions, giving away items, everybody's happy. If there's relevance in other photographs, the teasers, poster, pictures of Foolio, if they want to further identify his Instagram page, that's one thing. But I believe that allowing, number one, the profile picture that's not necessary for purposes of identifying the Instagram account, and also other pictures that are him with his fans looking like there's some kind of giveaway are unnecessary, not relevant, and whatever small relevance they may have is highly outweighed by its prejudicial value.
Okay, any final response, Ms. Ismer?
Only if that, it were only the Instagram profile, I would certainly be open to making some kind of redaction to satisfy Mr. Gonzalez's argument as far as 403, but I think maybe there's some confusion. That image is the only data from the morning of 6/8 on Rashad Murphy's device, which puts him actually contacting Charles Jones's account, so contacting that very unique profile page.
Okay.
There's a direct link to Mr. Murphy. It's not just the addition of the victim's Instagram page.
Okay. All right, I find that it is relevant and the probative value outweighs any prejudicial effects, so I'm gonna deny the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please note the record.
It is duly noted. Okay, I'm gonna give these back to you, Ms. Ismer, that's 95C 1 through 8, 95E, and then 95A.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, are we otherwise ready to go?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay?
Yes, sir, just before Detective Ramos takes us down, I just want to renew all my previous objections as it relates to motions to suppress and motions in limine.
Yes, same ruling from the court, your objections are preserved. Okay, let's bring in our jury.
She just named it on my phone. I figured out that. This is Instagram. You want to use that, right?
All right.
Ah, some of you are double-fisted, I see. Okay, very good. Way to go.
All yours are in, Judge.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Everyone have a seat, ready to proceed. And before I forget, we don't have court this Friday, right? And then the following Monday, which would be a week from today, I have an unavoidable conflict in the morning, so we're actually gonna work from 12 until 6. All right, so in the morning, either eat a hearty breakfast or an early lunch. So when you all come back at noon, we're gonna work from noon until 6. Okay, so you will have the morning off on Monday. Okay? All right, State, who's your next witness?
The state calls Detective Taylor Klein.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
All right, you may proceed.
Please state your full name for the record.
Yes, Taylor Klein, last name's Kline,
How are you employed?
with the City of Tampa Police Department,
How long have you been with the City of Tampa Police Department?
almost 11 years.
What unit are you currently assigned to?
I'm assigned as a detective to the Tampa Police Department Homicide Squad.
How long have you been in the homicide squad?
Almost coming up on 4 years.
Did you participate in the investigation homicide of Charles Jones?
I did.
Who was the lead homicide investigator assigned to the case?
Detective Juan Ramos.
When there is a homicide, how is the work load shared among the homicide detectives in your unit?
So obviously, it depends on the case. All of them are different. Some of them are kind of smaller investigations, and then some of them grow to be giant cases. Typically, there will be a lead detective, and then there'll be a detective assigned to assist with them. And then there will be normally 2 detectives that will go and respond out to the scene. And depending on how big the investigation gets, more detectives can be added to help with the workload.
And in this instance, you already said that Detective Juan Ramos was assigned as the lead investigator, is that correct?
Correct.
Is there also detectives that are assigned and tasked with the crime scene and
Yes.
the documentation and collection of evidence?
Yes.
Who was assigned to do that in this particular
It would
case?
have been Detective Alverson.
Did you yourself respond to the Homes to Suites location on McKinley Drive?
I did not.
What were you tasked with doing in this particular case?
So I didn't respond out to the scene. I was not involved with the actual scene investigation. Later on, I was given kind of a task to complete in reference to aiding Detective Ramos with his investigation.
Was there a cellular device that Detective Juan Ramos wanted you to look into?
Correct.
Had he done a search warrant and a request for the timing advance records of a person by the name of Alicia Andrews?
Yes.
What did he ask to do? What did he specifically ask you to do in reference to those cell phone records of Alicia Andrews?
Look at locations that the device was at prior to the homicide having occurred, and see if I can go out to those general areas and get video that may capture involved parties.
Did he brief you as to the relevant time frame that he was asking you to look for?
Yes.
So we're going to June 23rd of 2024, is that correct? And he would ask you to look at the time period in front of that, is that correct?
Correct.
And so did you look at those, what were you using those phone records for?
So we look through the phone records to give us locations where the device may have been at. And then I try, like I said, find corresponding businesses maybe in the area that would have video to see if they captured involved parties.
And did you identify any specific areas where you could search for videos?
Yes.
And can you tell us what was the first video that you located?
So in the general area of Fletcher and Bruce B. Downs, and for everyone's awareness, it's kind of like the USF area. The device was pinging on Fletcher, just west of Bruce B. Downs. There are obviously a bunch of like smaller restaurants and like a gas station out there, so that was kind of where I started.
Okay. And when you're looking at the timing advance records of Alicia Andrews, it gives you the location, is that correct, wherever the phone is? Does it also give you the date and the time when the phone is in that area?
Correct.
And can you tell us a little bit about timing advance records?
Yes, so it's obviously you need a search warrant to obtain them. When your cell phone is on a network, when you're using it, it will interact with the cell sites. So the towers, a physical structure that comes out of the ground, and there's cell sites are attached to that. And when you use your phone for talking, text messaging, data, you'll interact with that cell site, and it'll give you a general location where that device is. And this is through the actual phone provider. So you're paying for the service, and then they provide us these records back.
And we asked you about the early morning hours of June 23rd of 2024. Were there entries and businesses that were around 1:25 a.m. in
Yes.
the morning? And you said you went out to that general area, is that correct?
Correct.
You said that there were some restaurants.
Yes.
Did any of the restaurants have video surveillance cameras?
Yes.
Which ones?
So there was a kind of a Salem's over there, and also there was a McDonald's.
And did you review videos from both of those locations?
I did.
When you were reviewing video, did you also have information regarding the suspect vehicles in this case?
Yes.
And what were the suspect vehicles that you were looking for?
A silver Chevy Cruze and a black Chevy Impala.
Did you mentioned Salem's, is that correct, as one of the restaurants?
Yes.
Was there any video surveillance that was relevant or pertinent to this investigation that showed any of those two vehicles in their video footage?
No.
And then the second business you said was McDonald's, is that correct?
Correct.
What is the address of the McDonald's?
It would be 2205 East Fletcher Avenue.
And did you retrieve the video footage from that McDonald's on Fletcher Avenue?
I went out to the location and we kind of had to follow up on it later. But yeah, I located the video at that restaurant.
And did you review the video at the restaurant?
I did.
And did you see any suspect vehicles during that time frame on June 23rd, at that time frame when Alicia Andrews' cellular device was in that location. Did you locate any of those vehicles?
Yes,
Which vehicle did you locate?
it would have been the silver Chevy Cruze.
And you said at some point there was an issue with the download on that day, is that correct?
Correct.
So what happened?
I gave it an honest try. I had some other obligations I had to handle, and then I don't believe the manager, at least there, knew how to operate it. So obviously we located it, and then we came back at a later date to actually recover the video.
Okay. And did you download the relevant portion when the silver Chevy Cruze was at that location on June 23rd of 2024?
Yes, it was later downloaded.
And prior to coming to court today, did I ask you to take a look at a DVD marked States Exhibit 78 so that you could later recognize it for identification?
Yes,
I'm going to approach and show you States Exhibit 78. Do you recognize your initials?
yes,
And is this, what is contained on this DVD, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the video footage that you have obtained from that McDonald's on Fletcher?
yes,
Your Honor, at this time, we would introduce into evidence States Exhibit number 78.
Any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
No objection.
Mr. Sinardi?
No objection,
Mr. Wise?
Okay.
Mr. Petrides? Admitted?
Detective Klein, can you tell the jury where the cameras at that McDonald's on Fletcher Avenue, where they're located?
yes. So they have cameras that basically cover the entirety of the building. So there's a camera kind of when you come off the driveway from Fletcher Avenue. There's a camera on the west side of the building. There's a camera on the south side of the building that kind of overlooks the ordering area. And then there's also cameras on the east side, and that's where people typically pick up their food and interact with the employees at the McDonald's.
Okay. And those cameras that you have described that are on the exterior of that McDonald's, does it also track and follow the parking lot as well as the progression of the drive-through for that McDonald's?
Yes,
And are there also cameras in the interior of the McDonald's?
yes,
Is there a camera that specifically covers the drive-through window so that you would be able to see looking in from the McDonald's as the vehicle and the driver is pulling up to the McDonald's?
yes,
And all of those cameras, did you capture the pertinent part, the relevant part, when the silver Chevy Cruze is entering the McDonald's, going through the drive-through, and pulls up to the drive-through window?
yes,
Your Honor, at this time, we would publish States Exhibit 78. Sir, did you also check the timestamp, the accuracy of the date and the time of the McDonald's video?
yes.
How did you do that?
I use a website called time.gov. It's the government's official timekeeping, so it's like the most accurate time you can use, and I compare that to the timestamp that showed on live footage from the video itself.
And the video, when you say the timestamp, that actually is being on the video. It shows the time elapsing as it is occurring. Is that correct?
Correct.
Was the timestamp on the video, the date as well as the time, was that accurate on the McDonald's video?
No.
How was it off?
It was 12 minutes and 15 seconds fast.
Okay, sir, I'm showing you States Exhibit 78. Can you tell us what this camera view is showing?
This is the west side of the building. The road that the cars are turning off of is Fletcher Avenue, and you can see a silver SUV pulling in, and then there's a silver Chevy Cruze behind it.
And is this the silver Chevy Cruze that you track throughout the different cameras at the McDonald's on the exterior of the McDonald's, including when it pulls up to the drive-through window, showing it on the interior camera?
Yes.
And sir, where is this camera view in location at the McDonald's?
So it's looking in the same direction to the west. It's just a little bit to the south, and you're making your way to the ordering area.
Okay. Is that shows the beginning of the drive-through?
Correct.
And again, what are we seeing in this picture?
The same Chevy Cruze from the prior angle.
And sir, you said that this McDonald's was in the USF area, is that correct?
Yes,
And you are familiar with the location of USF on Fletcher and Fowler?
yes.
Approximately how far is it from that USF area, also where the Home to Suites is located?
My guess would be probably like 2 to 3 miles-ish.
We are now at a different camera, and where is this, for the record, where is this camera located when it's reflecting the timestamp of 1:47?
So this is on the south side of the building. Now we're looking at the drive-through area, and the same vehicle that we had in the prior 2 camera angles is now pulled up to the drive-through ordering speaker.
And this is the same silver SUV that was in front of the silver Chevy Cruze, is that correct?
Correct.
And sir, can you also see the silver Chevy Cruze now?
Yes.
And where is it at timestamp 1:48 and states Exhibit 78?
Still at the ordering speaker.
And there are 2, is it at the one at the exterior ordering lane?
Yes, it's the further one from the camera.
I just don't want it to. And sir, with the timestamp 1:49:23 now, is this another camera?
Yes.
And where is that located up on the McDonald's?
It's on the other side, it's on the eastern side of the building, looking at the south at the 2 ordering speakers.
So same time frame, just another angle captured from a different camera, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, we've now advanced to 1:48. Can you tell us what this camera angle is?
So this is on the eastern side of the building. This is the drive-through pickup windows, basically. So you've already ordered your food, and now you're going towards the window to interact with the McDonald's employees.
Okay, sir, we have advanced it to 1:50:11. Can you now see the silver Chevy Cruze?
Yes.
And what vehicle is it depicted on the video?
The one furthest away. It's behind a white sedan.
Do you want to forward it to the drive-through or let it come through? Yeah, forward it to when it's right in front of the video. And again, Detective Klein, is this, again, the same drive-through, just another camera capturing the rear of the vehicles as it's going through the drive-through line?
Yes.
Detective Klein, we forwarded it to 15110. What camera is now being shown on the video?
Obviously, this is the interior of the McDonald's looking at the drive-through. Obviously, you can see an employee, and then a car pulls up, and the employee's interacting with a person in the car.
Okay. And we are now at 151 on State's Exhibit number 78. And is this now that same silver Chevy Cruze that you have captured going around the McDonald's through the drive-through?
Yes.
And Detective, based on viewing the video, can you tell whether or not there is more than one person that is inside of the silver Chevy Cruze?
Looking at the video, you can tell, obviously, there's someone driving it, and then someone in the front passenger seat.
Does someone appear to hand the driver money?
Yes.
And Detective, how many bags are handed to the driver of the vehicle?
I believe 2.
And how many drinks?
3.
And had there been another drink handed over prior to that?
Yes.
Detective, did you scan that area for any other potential video cameras that may have captured the silver Chevy Cruze in that area?
Yes.
And were there any other videos that you located that you could locate and see the silver Chevy Cruze at any of those businesses?
No.
At some point, did you go to a plaza containing a business called Truth 18?
Yes.
Why did you go to that location?
I was relayed information by Detective Ramos that the victim had visited this club prior to this incident occurring. So obviously I would go out there to do the same thing, canvass to see if I can locate video from the property in the surrounding area.
Did you do that with other officers with the Tampa Police Department?
Yes.
Who did you go with?
Detective Lipsky and Detective Whelan.
Can you tell the jury, describe Truth 18 and that shopping plaza in that area?
Yes, it's a strip mall. There's a bunch of different businesses. It's on the south side of the road. There's 2 stories. The club itself is kind of upstairs. There's at least like one stairway to get up to that, and then there's video cameras kind of throughout different areas of this little strip mall.
Was there cameras on the exterior of that two-story building in which Truth 18 was located?
Yes.
What business in particular had cameras set up on the exterior?
So within Habibi's hair design, they had a DVR that was attached to cameras that were kind of throughout the exterior of the property that covered just common areas.
And when you say common areas, what are you referring to?
The parking lot, the stairwells, the hallways that are in front of the businesses, just common areas that all the businesses used.
And where is Habibi's hair design located in reference to that club, Truth 18?
It's within the same strip mall. It's on the first floor.
And so the cameras for the hair design business covered the stairwell that leads up to the second floor where Truth 18 is located. Is that correct?
Yes.
It also covered the parking lot for those shared businesses. Is that also correct?
Yes.
Did you look at the video footage for Truth 18, again, for June 23rd of 2024, for the relevant time period where the victim was supposed to be there?
Yes, I recovered video.
Was, again, just like I asked you for the video in reference to the McDonald's, did that video at the business, the Habib's Hair Design, where Truth 18 is located, did it have a date and time stamp on the video?
It did.
Did you confirm or verify the accuracy of the timestamp of the video footage that you collected from that strip mall from Habib's Hair Design?
Yes.
Was it accurate?
It was not.
How off was the video, the date and timestamp from the video from the Truth 18 business?
So it was 22 hours, 45 minutes, and 9 seconds fast.
And after you received that video footage or collected it with other officers, did you provide that video footage to the main case detective, Detective Juan Ramos?
Yes.
And again, before you testified today, did I show you State's Exhibit 44, the DVD that contained the video footage of Truth 18 and as well as a USF poll camera?
Yes.
Did I ask you just to look at the portion containing the video footage collected from Truth 18?
Yes.
Did I ask you to initial it and sign it and date it so that you could then recognize it at a later time?
Yes.
And did you look at 44, and was that a fair and accurate depiction of the video footage that was collected from Habib's Hair Design, the same plaza where Truth 18 is located?
Yes.
At this time, we pass the witness.
Okay. Mr. Gonzalez, any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, State, you're not introduced this time?
Not at this time, Judge.
Okay, Sinardi, any questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
Introducing the
No,
exhibit.
no, no, they're not introducing it quite yet.
Okay,
Any
Questions?
questions of
Yes.
this witness?
yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Detective.
Hello.
All right, as I understand it, you obtained some cell phone data that you believe will related that it belonged to Alicia Andrews. Is that accurate?
I did not obtain it. The records were sought through search warrants that Detective Ramos did. I merely took the data that he had received and plugged it into a program to see common locations that device may have been at.
Is that CellHawk? Is that what you utilized?
Correct.
Did you do that, or did someone else do that?
I looked at the records to see, just like I said, common areas and times that it would have been in.
Did you run the CellHawk software
What do you mean?
in order to obtain the location of the cell tower information? Did you use the CellHawk software?
The data, yes, it was uploaded to CellHawk, and you can interpret that data using the tools that they provide, yes.
Did you do that, or did someone else do that?
I'm sure multiple people did it, and I was one of them.
Okay. All right, then you obtained that information, which gave you an idea where that cell phone was located, is that accurate?
General area, yes.
And we say general, we're talking about a quarter of a mile or more?
It depends on the accuracy of the hits. With these cell phone records, sometimes you get 1,000-meter hits, and then sometimes they're more accurate. It just depends on the provider, the phone itself, what's being used on the phone, and the records we get back from that.
Okay. So it varies on a number of reasons, the cell towers, the provider, the conditions, the number of businesses using phones in that area, et cetera. There's a number of things that affect that, correct?
I have a rudimentary understanding. I mean, that might be a better question for the cell phone company itself, but I know what data I'm given back,
Okay.
and I interpret that data.
And based on that interpretation is when you went looking for security videos at different businesses along the area that the phone had been active, correct?
Correct.
And how many businesses did you go to, you think?
Several kind of in that area. Salem's, there's like a gas station, and then obviously the McDonald's.
Okay. And you had obtained a description of a suspect vehicle from Detective Ramos at that time, is that accurate?
Yes.
All right. And you believed you saw that suspect vehicle in the McDonald's?
Yes.
Did you have a tag number?
So obviously I have a general knowledge of cars, and I knew that to be a silver Chevy Cruze. At the end of the day, I'm not the lead detective, so I'd relay that information to Detective Ramos, and obviously he saw that, and based on the information that he had, he confirmed that that was the one we were looking for.
All right. Now, you were never able to obtain the number of individuals actually in that Chevy Cruze, correct?
So from looking at the video, you can see there's at least a driver and a passenger watching the video, looking through the windshield, and then obviously looking through the driver's drive-through with the employee. But I couldn't tell you if there's any in the back or not. I don't know.
That's my question. You don't know if there was 2 people in there or 4 people in there. Is that accurate?
From me just looking at the video, like I said, I can see 2 in the front. At least from me looking at it, I don't see it.
You could not see who was in the back, correct?
I could not, no.
Okay. All right. And then you obtained a security video, as I understand it, from a club called Truth 18. Is that accurate?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Any questions, Mrs. Wise?
Good afternoon.
Hello.
I want to ask you just a little bit more about the phone records that we heard a little bit about, specifically timing advance records. That's something you've become familiar with in the course of your work in the last several years, right?
A basic understanding and knowledge, yes.
Right, because in the investigations you conduct, frequently timing advance records can be relevant, right?
Correct.
And what timing advance records are, in general terms, is it's an estimated location that the phone company provides based on the timing, the time that it's taking a cell phone signal to hit a cell tower, correct?
I'm not an expert, but that's my rudimentary understanding,
Right.
yes.
And you're also familiar with the fact that cell towers generally have 3 sectors, right?
Correct.
And we'll see, we may see it later, but a lot of times when cell towers are mapped out, in fact, there'll be like a pie shape that juts off from the location of the tower,
It
right?
depends on the provider, it depends on the records provided. Sometimes it's like that, sometimes they're dots. It depends on the kind of records you're getting back.
Sure. But basically, getting back to what the sector is, there's 3 sides, and if I say I'm connecting to a tower that's over in that direction, the tower, or let's say actually hypothetically, I am a cell tower. One sector is going to jut out from a third of where I'm standing. Does that make sense?
Yes, the way you're explaining it.
Okay. And basically, any phone within that sector, within that radius out from me, and that 1/3 out from me being the cell tower, any phone within that 1/3 area away from me could be connecting to the tower, right?
From my understanding, but like I said, not an expert. That'd
Right.
be a cell phone provider question.
Well, you have an expert at TPD, right?
We
Sergeant
have,
Heist?
yes, we do.
Okay. Did you consult with him at all in connection with this case?
Did I? No.
Okay. You probably have in the past with regards to cell phone evidence, right?
Yes.
Okay. And generally speaking, again, when we're talking timing advance, and I probably made this more complicated than it needs to be, but if it's timing advance alone, you are being given a location along that sector that basically where the phone could be anywhere within that arc that juts out from the distance you're given.
It depends on the records themselves. Sometimes they're like that, sometimes they're dots. Obviously, in this circumstance, I had a general area. I didn't know exactly where, which is why I went to a couple businesses until I went to the McDonald's and found video corresponding to that vehicle.
Gotcha, okay. And ultimately, again, what we're getting from that information is the phone tying back to a specific cell site.
It's like the phone interacting with the cell site.
And when the companies provide that information, they generally give you an estimated, I guess you could say, rate of error, right?
Are you talking about the accuracy of the hit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, there's
I mean,
different accuracies.
You mentioned before, sometimes it can be 1,000 meters, within 1,000 meters.
Correct.
And generally, when you get those records, you're given some sort of an error rate estimate, right?
You're talking about certainty of the hits?
Yes, sir.
Like, yes, you'll have high, medium, and low certainty hits.
Right, and that's, some companies do high, medium, and low,
Yep.
right? And some companies even give you a more, specific range, right?
It depends on the provider.
For instance, some will even say, like AT&T will say, location accuracy, at best, maybe within 50 meters.
It depends obviously on the provider and their technology and what the phone is doing and how it's interacting with the cell site, yes.
Right, but you're familiar with the fact that some providers will give you an actual estimate that it would be within X meters.
Yes, it's their accuracy of their.
Right. And sometimes that can be as far, sometimes it could be as close as within 50 meters in rare instances, right?
Yes,
Sometimes in other rare instances, it may be 2,500 meters,
sure.
right? Which is far more than a mile, correct?
Yes, and that's why we can try to confirm the accuracy with from the data with going to actual businesses and pulling video to confirm the records.
Exactly, because if you can actually find the person using the phone in a video, for instance, then you can say with more specificity, yes, they were in that location,
Yes.
right? But if you're going off just the records, it's a bit of a guessing game, right?
It's a lot of factors and variables.
And when we're talking about trying to find if that device is at a specific location, you would agree with me, it's not an exact science?
I'm not an expert, but like I said, there's a lot of variables. It just depends on the certainty and a lot of different factors.
But in your own words, you've said it's not an exact science in the past, right?
It just, it depends on like the data you have back, the records, the provider, if they're using their phone. There's a lot of things that go into that.
And again, I know you're not an expert on this, but you're aware that the records that we're talking about, timing advanced records, call detailed records, those are records that the cell phone companies keep for their own business purposes, right?
I'm not sure as to why they keep them. That'd be a question obviously for them.
Sure.
But we can write legal processes to obtain what data they do have.
You do know, though, that they're not kept for law enforcement purposes, right?
I guess from my understanding, I don't know what they do with data, but I know they do store it for a certain amount of time, and we're able to get it through a legal process.
And if you subpoena it, you can obtain it, but it's not something that they offer to you.
We have to write a search warrant, but yes, we have to go through, get a search warrant signed from a judge to get those records.
And in this particular instance, when we're talking about timing advance records, the companies are using unpublished algorithms to determine the locations.
I
right?
do not know what the companies are doing to make that data. I don't know.
Okay, and the point I'm getting at is, we don't have a way, or you as law enforcement, you don't have a way to double check the accuracy of the data that the cell phone companies are providing you.
By going out and pulling video and,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure, you can corroborate it, but what I'm saying is, when they give you an estimated location and they say it's within, 1,000 meters of this location estimated, you don't have a way to double check the accuracy of that mathematically. You don't know what algorithm they're using to come up with that data.
Objection asked and answered.
Sustain the objection.
Aside from potentially going out and corroborating with video, if we're talking about just the records themselves, do you have any way to confirm or double check the accuracy of the data that the cell phone companies are providing you?
I'm not an expert again, but as far as I'm aware, I do not have any way.
Thank you, sir, that's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Petrides?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The phone, it also pinged at different locations, correct? Not just that McDonald's.
Yes.
Did you go to the other locations?
I worked on a couple different portions. Obviously, like I said, I wasn't in this investigation from the beginning, but I did what I could to go to locations that the device was seen to be at for a while and trying to pull video, yes.
What do you mean by while?
Obviously, you know, if people are moving around, a device won't stay in one place for too long, but obviously before and after this homicide occurred were times of interest. And then, like I said, going through there, like it seemed like at this time, right before the homicide, that this phone was in that area. I knew there were businesses in that area, so I was going to try to pull video to corroborate at least that.
When you say that area, you're talking about the McDonald's? And so-
Correct. Fletcher, west of Bruce B. Downs, where the video was ultimately pulled.
Did you ever go to any of the places on Hillsborough or 40th or Bush or any of those places?
Obviously, the strip mall, Truth 18 that we mentioned already, where the victim was at, and pulled just block video from there. There was also some area on Hillsborough Avenue. I was never able to figure out if the device went any particular area, obviously, or place.
But the device pinged in certain places on Hillsborough Avenue?
I believe so, if my memory serves me correctly, somewhere in the area of 15th and Hillsborough, but I wasn't able to figure out where it went.
Okay. But it would stay there for at least a short amount of time?
I don't recall specifically how much time, but it was there in that area for some period of time before.
Enough where you wanted to go check it out?
Yes.
Anywhere else that you went where this phone indicated its location was?
No.
But other places that it indicated its location was, you just chose not to go due to the fact that it wasn't there long, or you just didn't have enough time, or?
It depends on the circumstances. Like I said, video is perishable. I was involved in other things before this as well, so my role in this was to see if I can pick some of these locations where it seemed like the device was there for a little while beforehand, and see if I could find video of the person holding the device, or the car, or what have you.
Other than the places we've talked about, what other businesses do you remember going to trying to find, specific businesses trying to find video?
I don't recall any more than what I've told you.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. Detective Klein, you were tasked specifically with trying to find video footage based on the timing advance records of a suspect, in this case, Alicia Andrews. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're not the main case detective. Is that also correct?
Correct.
Were you tasked with doing the cell phone mapping in this case?
No.
So you were given a specific time frame to look for a potential suspect, two potential suspect vehicles where Alicia Andrews' phone was being utilized. Is that correct?
Correct.
And when defense counsel is asking you about accuracy, they're asking you specifically about the accuracy of the range. Is that correct?
Yes.
So when we're talking about that, we're talking about these cell phones utilize cell towers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Some of them also, there is satellite and geolocation data that is also used in determining the phone's location. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when we're talking about accuracy of range, that can be dependent on a bunch of different variables. Is that correct?
Yes.
But when we're talking about the cell phone records itself, the cell phone towers and the entries in the cell phone records, that is accurate information. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that information is providing you with date and time and location when a cell phone is being utilized. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what you did is you took the cell phone data information from Alicia Andrews that was obtained by a search warrant, and you put it into CellHawk. Is that correct?
Yes.
Not to map out her entire journey. Is that correct?
Correct.
But for that specific task of trying to locate the vehicle before the homicide occurred.
Yes.
And when you are given that task and that assignment as a homicide detective, were you given any information as to any businesses where they believed the vehicle went other than Truth 18?
I was not, no.
So you don't know if that phone or the person with that phone inside that vehicle went to any one of those restaurants. Is that correct?
Correct.
Because you don't know the path it took. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you are looking at a wide range of businesses in order to see if perchance that vehicle visited that business. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you did more than one. Is that correct?
Yes.
and whether or not you remember all of them, was the only business for the time when that handset was in that area of the McDonald's. Was that the only business where you could see a silver Chevy Cruze?
Yes.
And as far as the accuracy and the time and location, the records put you in that area looking for the video for that specific time. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you indeed spotted a silver Chevy Cruze at that McDonald's where Alicia Andrews' records directed you could possibly be in that location. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, may I have one moment?
Yes.
Nothing further, Judge.
Okay, this witness be excused?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Free to go. All right, who's your next witness?
The state calls Sergeant Juan Ramos.